Okay, well, welcome to Roots of Reality Experiences. Today I'm joined by actress Sonya Priss, who's famous internationally for starring as Alice in the popular Netflix film Silver Skates. In addition, Sonya also stars in season 3 of the Ukrainian show Krepostnaya, called Love in Chains in
Yeah,
English, and has also played various roles in popular Russian films and TV shows. Lastly, this is also Sonya's first ever English interview. So Sonya, thanks for coming on.
thank you for having me.
So just starting off, how did you first get interested in acting?
Well, I was like 4 or 5. I remember that I was watching the Soviet comedy movies
Okay.
on our old TV, which was like, the fat TV, which has like this thing in the back.
Right.
Yeah, and, and it had terrible quality, but I was watching the Soviet movies. They were funny, they were kind, and I loved the actors. And I was like, "Oh, mom, I want to be an actress too." And she was like, "Oh no!" Like, my older sister, she's also an actress, but she's a theater actress and a
Okay.
singer.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so
Cool.
I was like, I want to be a movie actress, mom. And my parents were like, well, she's just a child. She'll grow up and whatever. She can talk things when she's a child. But I grew up and nothing changed.
Yeah.
So um, after I finished school, I was like 18 years old, and I told my parents I want to go to the theater university, and they said no,
Okay.
because I'm from a really small town. It's like in Siberia. It's small. It has like I don't know, 300,000 people living in it, and
Wow.
in terms of Russia, it's small, yeah.
Yeah.
And the theater universities, the best ones, are in Moscow and St. Petersburg, which is really far from my hometown. And when I was 18, my parents said, "No, you won't go there. It's really far away."
Wow.
And I was like, "What do I do?" And my dad is English language teacher,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, and my whole childhood I was like having tutors in English and coaches and stuff, and I did my exams in English, and they said you will go to the foreign languages, or how do you say it in English?
Yeah, I mean,
um,
I guess that would be like something like you just major in English or something in
yeah,
college and
yeah, so I was supposed to finish college and become a teacher, a
okay.
teacher of foreign languages like English, French,
Okay.
etc. And well, I went to that university just to please my parents, but I knew I will never ever finish it. And I was
Wow.
yeah, because I just went there and I started going to the theater club in my city, and I was like, well, I'm studying in a university, but I was thinking about how to run away, all the time.
Oh my
And
gosh. Okay.
yeah, and after the first year in the university, I went to the work and travel program. I think maybe you know what
Yeah,
it
I've
is.
heard of it before. Yeah. So foreigners can have
Yeah,
a chance to come to the US, work a little
yeah,
bit, and be there for a bit of
yeah,
time.
yeah. And so I went there. I went to it's an island called Martha's Vineyard near New
Martha's
York, I
Vineyard.
believe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I went
Martha's
there,
Vineyard. Yeah.
and it's so funny because my parents, they didn't let me go to Moscow and St. Petersburg, but another country is okay, you can go, So
That's well, okay. So
it's
wait a
like
minute. Yeah.
it's the logical
Okay.
things of the parents, yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to America. I was like 19, I believe, or 20, and I liked it. not like working and washing dishes, but that was
Yeah.
fun. Okay.
Right.
But another country, people, freedom. And after the program was finished, I had to go to my hometown
Okay.
again. And I was like, no, I want to go back to America. And then that's a long story, but I started Googling, how to go to America for free. Like
Okay.
how do I go
Yeah.
to some college in the USA for free? And
Yeah.
Google was like, there is a program like global undergraduate program. It's
Mhm.
called Global UGrad. What you have to do is you have to do a lot of tests for pronunciation, spelling, and stuff, and then you can win a chance to go to the USA to study there for a semester. And there was like eight people that they could choose from all the participants, and I saw my number was 9, so I did
Okay.
all the tests and I was like 9, so I was like under the, so I didn't win it.
You're
And then
close, but yeah, not enough.
yes, but then like in a week or something, someone from those people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, someone from them, they left, and I jumped from the 9th to the 8th, and then I went there.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
like, yes, I don't know what happened, but some girl, she just left the program, so I had a chance to go instead of her
Wow.
because I was like under her in the list. Yeah. And then I went to America again. I lived in Houston, um, and I studied in the Lewis Clark College there.
Yeah.
And I started taking acting classes the first time in my life.
Wow.
Serious acting classes in there. But the university itself, it's not like connected to acting or movies somehow. It's not. It's just a regular university
Yeah.
in a relatively small city, town. Yeah. So I started taking acting classes. And then when I was giving the textbooks for my classes, all I saw in there were Russian directors, Stanislavski, and I was like, wow, I had to go to America to learn my my own like country's directors and the great people that created the methods of acting and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I read it, and then I started learning about Lee Strasberg acting method and stuff. And well, I liked it there, and I still have contacts of my teachers. And also, when the Silver Skates came out
Yeah.
and Netflix bought it, I wrote about it to my teachers on Facebook, and they were like, "Oh, we'll see it." And all my college teachers saw
Yeah.
saw the movie.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So I first tried serious acting in the USA. In my college, we did like the seagull monologues and stuff, like the
Yeah.
regular stuff people do. Yeah. So after the program ended, uh, like I had to go to my hometown again and continue studying on my foreign languages courses,
Right.
and I was like, oh no, what do I do? But my parents were like, I mean, they didn't they didn't feel the urge to uh, carry me home and like, no, you won't go anywhere, because I went to the USA for a year, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
mom, what are you talking about? I'm like a grown up. They still don't think that I'm grown up, but whatever.
Naturally,
um
yeah. Parents. Yeah.
yeah. um and after the program was finished, I had the flights like Los Angeles, New York, Moscow.
Okay.
In Moscow, I had like a couple of days to finish everything, like the document stuff, to finish the program completely. And after that, I had a flight Moscow, Kurgan, which is my hometown.
Yeah.
So I had a couple of days, and I was like, okay, I'll do all the documents stuff really quick, and I'll go to St. Petersburg and try my best to go to the theater university. I had nothing prepared, because when you're going to the theater university, you have to do a monologue. You have to show an animal. I don't know. You have to read. I don't know, some poetry or something. I had nothing prepared, but I went to St. Petersburg, and I just found on the map, like, it was my first time in St. Petersburg ever. I just Googled where the theater academy is. I went there. I opened the door and I was like, okay, I wanna be an actress. What do I do?
Oh
And they
my
were
gosh.
like, woman, what? Today is the last day of exams in this year. It's the last day. Who are you? And I was like, oh, please just let me try it. I'll show the teachers that I am worthy, and So I went to the last audition in that year. It was like really late. It was like 11 p.m. or something at night, and the last audition in that year, the day I came to St. Petersburg, I didn't know it. I didn't know
There's like no preparation or anything.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't know what are the dates of auditions. Nothing. I just came in, and so I entered the university, and I was taken to the theater academy, and I graduated in 2020.
Wow.
That's it.
Okay, well that was a much more complex story than I was expecting.
Yeah. So that was like, ooh,
Yeah, I mean, it's kind
yeah.
of like one of those things with life where, like, if you're trying to achieve something, you're just kind of taking any path you can, because there's really no straight path, especially in the world of acting, unless you have like some connection to a director or your parents an actor. So that's a pretty amazing amazing story you have. But okay, your parents though, I guess once you made it into the acting academy in St. Petersburg, they were okay with you becoming an actress at that point?
Yeah, because they had no choice.
Okay.
Because your child is flying from the US to Russia, and she will come like in 2 days, but she calls and she says like, Mom, I entered the theater academy. Where? What? You're supposed to come home in 2 days and continue studying here. I was like, no, I'm sorry, but I was taken to the theater academy, and I'll be an actress. And they were like, oh, okay, yeah. So they had no choice.
That's incredible. I mean, geez, that's yeah, pretty inspirational story for anyone who's trying to, follow some career path that they want to, because you really have to have an attitude where it's like, this is what I'm going to do no matter what, and it doesn't
Yeah,
matter what I'm going through or what I have to do. And
yeah.
so when you're in the US, you said you're at Lewis and Clark College. What town or city is that in?
Lewiston. The city's called Lewiston,
Lewiston,
Idaho.
Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, not necessarily a place that's known for, producing lots of
Yeah.
actors, but yeah, I mean, it is something interesting at a lot of American universities, that every university will have an acting program.
Yeah.
And so you can take classes. But it's cool that you were able to get into the university and that path as an exchange student, I suppose, because yeah, I think I've known a lot of different Russians or people from all over the world that have been interested in coming to the US to study. And it's pretty complicated especially if you're trying to be like a full-time student, because it can be expensive even if you are accepted into a university. And so it is something where it could probably be easier just to get an experience as an exchange student than trying to go there full
Yeah.
time, but pretty interesting. So when did you get your first major role? Was it Silver Skates?
Ooh. Um, when I was like in my first year of the theater academy, I got the main role in a TV series.
Okay.
That was like a small TV series, and that was not like a big feature movie or something.
Right.
So I considered the Silver Skates as the first big movie I was
Right.
I was part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So before that, it was just kind of different little smaller
Soap
shows or
operas.
movies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I'm curious to know when you did get your role in Silver Skates, did you have any expectation about like how popular that movie
Mm.
would become, or Netflix eventually buying it? Um, what were your thoughts about that before, when
Um,
you're filming it?
I have a theory,
Okay.
and my theory is that the the way that the movie will be produced, the way that people will treat you, the way that like the product you will have when you finish the movie, you can understand all those things at the stage of getting their email, because the way people write emails, it's so important, because I have I have like kind of an experience in it. So I read emails all the time for castings, and you see like the project will be cool, or the project will be like not so really cool or something. You can understand that by the email that you see, the way that people treat you, writing to you, the way that people um, you know um, explain things to the actor. Because when I got the email for the Silver Skates, it was like a scene, um, a, how do you say that, synopsis, is that a word?
Synopsis. Yeah. Synopsis of the
Synopsis.
film. Yeah.
Yeah, I get everything. It was like the PDF files, beautifully created, like they were beautifully made. They had like some drawings in it, and I also got a PDF file which it contained like um, what will the costumes look like, what will the architecture look like in the movie. So a lot of things, and you see that, yeah, this will be a really great movie. I want to be a part of it, you know. Or sometimes they just go like, okay, so we're doing a movie, this is the scene you have to do. We don't have like the plot yet really, so just do the self tape or something. That's another thing, and the actor's like, oh, okay, well, what's the character like? Oh, we don't know yet, we're just writing it, but to just do a self tape. And you're like, guys. Yeah, so when I got the email for the Silver Skates, I knew this would be something big,
Yeah.
something great, because they were like really into it. They were really serious about it,
Right.
and yeah,
Yeah. I guess, yeah,
that's
the
it.
presentation of those
Mm-hmm.
potential films makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess if I understand correctly, like when the film first came out in Russia, it was pretty successful, and then
Mm-hmm.
Netflix just decided, okay, let's buy this and let's take it and put it to an international audience. Did you? Was there? I mean, was this totally surprising for you for Netflix to do that, or did you feel like, oh, maybe if this film is a big hit, it'll catch
Mm.
on and it'll go international? But
Um, yeah, maybe like the way that we reacted to this, to the news that Netflix bought our movie or something. It was because we went to We started showing it in a theater. How do you say that? Um, Movie theaters.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
is that right? We
Yep.
started showing the movie in the movie theaters in the pandemic time, and our cast and our producers, they were really thinking about will it how will it end? Will people go there, or will people stay home because they're just they're really thinking about their health, and
Sure.
maybe nobody will come.
Right.
Of course, people came to the movie theaters and they watched the movie, but we were always like in tension, like tense, like
Don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah.
what's gonna happen? How will it come out? Yeah, and then I heard that we're going to Netflix, and that I was filming another movie, and that day I remember that I created an Instagram story saying that, guys, this happened. I don't believe it. Um, I called everybody I knew. I called my um, university teachers. I called my parents, of course. I called everybody because that's big. We're
Yeah.
the
Oh, sure.
first Russian movie to be on
Yeah.
Netflix.
A Netflix original, and
Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah,
that's
and I was
crazy.
like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. And I had previously I had plans to work like worldwide, to work in the US when I
Hmm.
finished my university. I had plans to do it, and after we went to Netflix, the international casting directors and actors managers, they just they saw the movie, and then they started, like, I got a call from the manager, which is in Los Angeles. So now
Yeah.
I have a manager in the US, and that's all because of Netflix. That's
Yeah.
all because we went there. So now I have a chance to work worldwide,
Yeah.
because it's really really hard to find an American manager sitting here in Russia. It's
Oh,
really
sure.
hard.
Yeah. I can imagine that would be
Yeah.
difficult. I guess that's the kind of amazing thing with Netflix, especially during a pandemic when a lot of people had time to also watch more things. I know a lot of Americans,
Yeah.
for the first time in their lives, have been watching international films and TV
Mm-hmm.
shows, and it's really cool. It's really good because I think in the U.S. culturally, for many years before Netflix, people were pretty sheltered. They did not get much exposure to any international movies. It's just like, oh, we have Hollywood, so we're going to watch whatever Hollywood produces.
Yeah.
But there's so many things that are being produced in countries like Russia and all over the world, and Netflix is doing a good job of getting them attention. So it's cool that people like you now can have the opportunity to share all your work with a global audience. That's
Yeah.
pretty amazing, and something that I think will continue in the future, where it's just going to become more and more globalized when it comes to the film industry, and so that's awesome. But
Yeah.
now, I did realize, looking at some of the things you've been involved with, obviously Silver Skates, and then the Ukrainian show that you did
Mhm.
season 3 for, Love in Chains. You had a lot of roles in historical dramas. Is that on purpose, or is
Yeah.
that just a coincidence? Since I'm a historian,
I,
I'm just wondering, okay, what's the deal with this? Yeah.
I have no idea. I always get cast in historical movies.
Okay.
Maybe that's because of my appearance, but I would really like to play, like, Lara Croft, or
Okay.
some really really rude girl or something like
Right.
it.
Some
I don't
action
know,
movie.
but
Yeah.
when I come to castings and I start speaking like this, hi, my name is Sonya, and like, they see a historical woman in me,
Okay.
not like yeah. I don't know. Maybe this will change with time,
Yeah. Right.
probably. Yeah, because I want to be like a superhero or something,
Right.
but I always get to play the princess or
Yeah.
somebody.
I guess you have to come off a bit more aggressive and edgy and
Yeah.
scare people a little bit or something. Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, does see well on the bright side with those historical films, you've been doing a great job in them. They're becoming very popular. So that's I guess it's worked out so far. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, you're really early in your career. You're, what, 26 now.
Hmm.
So, what is like your 10-year plan? How do you see yourself 10 years from now as an actor?
Um, I would like to go abroad to work in movies. I would like to return to the US. I have friends there. I have a manager there. I have a lot of actors which I know and they're my friends that live in the US, and I would really, really love to come back and try my best. Maybe play some girl that has an accent or something. I know there are roles like this, and I know there are projects like this. I do self tapes regularly, and I just hope that this will happen probably this year or another year. Also, I don't work in theaters yet,
Yeah.
but I would like to in some stage of my life,
Okay.
maybe like not in the next 5 years because I want to concentrate on working in movies,
Sure.
but I I think I will do it someday because when you study in a theater university in Russia, you're taught to be a theater actor.
Right.
Nobody tells you how to work with the camera because that's different techniques, completely different things. Like working on stage where you have to, send your voice to the last row of people and they have to hear you. And then in movies, you have to be like, what works in movies is like maybe you're just you know playing with your eyes and your body doesn't move, but in your eyes people can see all the emotions. This doesn't work in theater because if you're like just you know traveling with your eyes, nobody will see what
Right.
you're portraying. In theater people will be like, what are you doing?
What's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a different technique, and I would really love to work in theater someday, someday. And also, I would like to be a voice actor. Is
Oh,
is
okay.
is it how
Yeah.
it's called? Yeah, maybe I would like to work for Russian movies or maybe international, or better both. Um, and I would like to give my voice to some cartoon princess or something,
Sure.
because yeah, because this not Disney because Disney is like so far away, um, but something like this, or audiobooks or something because
Yeah.
I think I can work with my voice and I'd like to use this skill. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably, well, buy a car, buy an apartment,
Right.
get married.
That's right. The
That's
other
obvious.
things, yeah. But yeah, okay. Well, it sounds like, I mean, you're on a pretty good path already since with Netflix, that should give you a boost for a long time. And
Yeah.
I also think that a lot more American films I'm seeing have people with accents and, people don't really
Mm-hmm.
care. And of course, I imagine the more work you do in sort of English speaking films, your accent will probably deteriorate more and more. So it'll be harder
Yeah.
to tell. But yeah, that's cool. It's a lot to look forward to. Yeah, maybe a future career on Broadway, even at some point. Who knows?
Yeah.
But that's awesome. So, what are you currently working on?
Right now we just finished filming a movie which is called The Unknown. This is a Russian movie, but the whole script is in English.
Oh, okay.
We don't know yet what will this look like, and
Okay.
but the plot is really interesting because it has time traveling and love and things like that. And I played a Soviet girl, but in English. And
Wow.
yeah, and she is like another type. She's not like a princess or something. She's a scientist. She has like this straight hair, wig, and stuff. So that's a completely different person. That's not me. Also, wigs, they really help,
Yeah,
because you feel like a different person. Yeah,
sure.
and when you have this big thing on your head and the curls and stuff, you're like, oh, I'm a historical
I'm a
woman. And
historical
then
figure. That's it.
yeah, because it really gives a lot to an actor. And so this character is completely different from everything I did before. And I really hope that this movie will go abroad, that maybe people in other countries will have the chance to see it, because it's really cool and really interesting. Yeah. So we just finished doing this, and I have some plans for the upcoming months, but they're just like a top secret.
Top secret.
uh,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Top secret,
Understandable.
yeah. Because when the project just launches, you can tell,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Typically
name of the
directors, yeah,
director,
don't want you to
because you
just
you
tell
signed
everyone
a
what's going
thing
on.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, I will not tell everybody.
You have to
Yeah.
sign a non-disclosure probably or something. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. Makes sense. That's probably a good way of preventing people from talking about some new project or
Yeah.
ruining it. So that's totally understandable and normal.
Because
So
actors would just tell everybody, because they're
like, oh yeah,
just
by the
so
way, yeah,
excited. Yeah, like, I'm so excited because I got in this movie and this movie. And so when you sign the document, you're like,
yeah,
okay, there's a law, and I can't. So
that's right. So yeah, that's right. If your family comes like, so what are you working on? You're just like, oh, nothing. Yeah.
mhm.
Yep, that's makes total sense. But obviously for a lot of people, they don't really know what's necessarily like being an actor or actress and being in films and TV shows. They watch it, they enjoy it. But what are some things you would say people aren't aware of that goes into the process of making a film or a TV show?
Oh, you don't sleep, you don't eat,
Yeah,
and you're always thinking about the character you're playing. You go to, well, you do sleep, but like for
not much. Yeah,
3 or 4 hours a day.
right,
Yeah, so you're thinking constantly thinking about the character for the day, and then you go to sleep, and then you have a dream about this character, and then you wake up, and then you think about the character again. And people really get surprised when they hear that you have to repeat things for like 40 times in a row, 50 times, because they're like, my parents were like this at the first time I told them about this, and they were like, how is it? You're playing a scene and then it's done. I was like, no, you're playing a scene, and then the cameraman goes around you for another, for another place, and
right,
then you play a scene again, then you have a close up, you play a scene again, then you have another close up for another actor, you play a scene again, and every time you have to repeat it like exactly like you did it first. And this is really hard, because when you even the way you breathe, you have to breathe in those times between your words, as you did it first time. It's like, it's really hard, but it's a skill.
yeah,
And when you work in theaters, you don't get this skill. And when I see people coming from like theater actors, which they worked in a theater for like 20 years, they are great actors, but when they come to set, they don't understand things, and this is sometimes really confusing, because they're like, they're really great actors, but sometimes they don't understand what it means that um, you have to like, for example, when you're in a dialogue, in a scene, you have to look in to the person's, you have to look in one eye,
Right.
the ones which is closer to you, and when you talk in life, you do it like this,
Yeah.
like you look in both eyes.
Right.
And people start doing this, like they would do it in a theater, in a play,
Yeah.
on a stage, and then the director's like, what, wait, not, this looks terrible, what are you doing?
It's like,
And
what
they're
are you
like,
doing? Yeah.
what? Yeah, because there are a lot of things, like the little secrets, that help an actor to look good in the movie. And yeah, sometimes sometimes you have something bad that happens in your family, and again, when you work in a theater, today's performance was nice, tomorrow your performance is bad, but you have another tomorrow, and you have
Yeah.
like 10 more performances in a month, and you can like do different things. But when you're on set, you don't have another chance. This is your only chance to do your best, and it doesn't matter if if a member of your family died. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You have to go and do things, because you don't have another chance. You don't have another performance in a week or something. Yeah. Also, another thing which I think is really interesting is that people think that the movie um, is being filmed in a sequence, like from the start to the end.
Right.
Like the scenes,
Yeah.
the scenes go. It's not like this, because really often you come to the first day of filming, and you have the scene from the final part of the movie. Your character has been through a lot of things until the end of the movie happens. So you have to imagine what happened to him, to play all the scenes that were before in your head, because you didn't have a chance to play them in reality. And sometimes you don't have time to talk to your partner, like, okay, so we got divorced in this movie, okay, so now this is the final scene, we have to be sad or something. You don't have this time, you just come, and you're both like, okay, so we're doing the final scene. It's really hard. Then you're doing the beginning of the movie, then you're doing something from the middle, then you're doing the beginning again, and then you forget what what was the previous day, what we did. So it's like really really hard, because your character has to, it has to change through the movie, throughout, like through all the scenes, and you have to remember all the little details, like how did this woman change? Maybe she has another way of speaking, because she had, like, something happened to her in this movie. She has another way of speaking. Maybe she speaks differently. Maybe she had her self-esteem changed or something. A lot of things, and then you have to remember all that, because you did the final scene, and then in a week you do something from the end again, and you have to, like, connect all this in your head. Nothing helps but the little notebooks that you can use. Yeah. So people really always think that the way they see the movie, it's the way it has been filmed.
Right.
It's not like this. It's
Yeah.
never like this,
Yeah.
because it depends on the locations, on the actors that are available this or another day and stuff. Yeah, there are a lot of things that are, like, surprisingly interesting to the people that has never saw how the movies are made. Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly, you have to juggle a lot of different factors all at once, it seems. And yeah, it sounds like a lot to be prepared for. But I guess that's also why you have to, like, take so many different takes in a film to get the moment just right for it to make the final cuts.
Yeah.
It's a pretty complicated process, but wow. All right. Well, that's a pretty interesting in-depth look at how movies are made. So cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I know that we have some fan questions. Since this is your first
yeah.
English interview, we have some very important questions that the world wants to know. So I guess we'll go through these then. Are you ready? Because these are going to be pretty intense questions, it seems. So
Okay.
all right. So number one, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, this one is tough. I'd say favorite movie of all time. There's a movie, I believe it's called Life is Beautiful. It's really an old one. Yeah.
Do you
It's
know
called
that?
La Vita è Bella. Life is Beautiful.
Huh.
Italy.
Oh, it's an Italian film?
This is a hard one. It's it's a military movie, and it says that it's a comedy and a drama and everything everything in one movie. I wouldn't say it's a favorite movie of all times, but I saw it when I was a child, and it was it was shocking to me. It was something I kept thinking about for a lot of days, and I cried in the end. This is a really, really good one. I think everybody has to see this movie. And for the modern ones, The Dark Knight. Everything Christopher Nolan does, I love it. Yeah, and Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's really, really cool. Yeah, I like it. I have a lot of favorite movies, so
it sounds like you have a pretty good mix there of different categories of film. So, all right. Next question is: do you plan on returning to the U.S.?
I do.
That's it. That's your answer. That's all they get. So
yeah, I do.
At some point, yeah, that's right. Maybe
at some point,
a new film on Netflix or Broadway or some other film in Hollywood, and yeah. So, cool. Something to look forward to. What's your favorite book?
Jane Eyre.
Okay. Yep.
Jane Eyre. Yeah, it's. I always answer that this is my favorite book because I read a lot, and I read a lot when I was a student, because you have to in a theater university. You have to read a lot of classic poems and stuff. But this one is still my favorite. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What what do you do if you forget the script while filming a big movie? You get fired. No,
you get fired.
That's right. You're gone.
It's a skill again. So I know it's a bad thing to tell, because maybe directors or casting directors will hear that, but I never learn the text before I get to the set. Okay. I never do. Because if I learn it the night before, like preparing for an exam in school, you learn it the night before, and sometimes, I don't know if you have this weird thing, but we in Russia, when we learn something like maths or chemistry, and you have an exam tomorrow, you have to put the textbook under your pillow. So when you sleep, the knowledge is
you absorb it through your pillow,
your brain. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, so I never do that when I work in movies, because I read the script many times. I write things to myself, because there is a list of questions an actor has to ask himself or herself before going to the set. So I do a lot of writing work, and then I kind of know all the scenes which is first, which is the second, which is after which, and I know all of them. So I memorize text really quick, and it's a skill, but it has it's like, it's also a bad thing because I memorize it really fast, and then I totally forget it the next day. So I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, some people like they learn it the night before or the week before. I know actors that really learn like small scenes the week before, and then the week after they still remember it. It's called like the long-term memory or something. It has a scientific term for it. And then there are people that learn things really quickly and forget them really quickly. So I'm the second type. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
I never forget my words on set. I never do.
okay.
Because that's
there you go.
You can't do that. It's prohibited. Yeah.
So okay, so that's never been a problem. Therefore,
no,
yeah, that's all right.
No.
That's the answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who are your favorite actors?
Oh, Meryl Streep.
Okay.
Heath Ledger. Leonardo DiCaprio. Jake Gyllenhaal. Ray Fiennes. Probably. Let's see. Zendaya. Yeah, from the newest things that I saw on Netflix, Zendaya. Yeah, that's probably the list of my favorite actors.
All right, that's a pretty good list. A lot of big names there. So
yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to add a question. What is a film that you would recommend people watch that you're not in that is Russian?
Oh, huh.
Or it could be a TV show too. But yeah, what would you recommend for internationals that aren't too familiar with Russian film and television? What do they have to see?
If they want to learn about the history of the country or the Silver Skates, there is I'd say something from the Soviet times, probably some comedies, comedy movies. There are also some really serious ones, and it depends on what the person likes and what the person wants to see. And I believe there is a list of the best Russian movies on IMDb or somewhere.
Right.
So you could probably check it. Yeah. Because it depends. It depends on the person.
What's the Russian film that's really popular on New Year's? It's like a comedy where the guy like goes to the wrong apartment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Ironia судьбы. Yeah.
I'm not sure what the English name is.
The Irony of Fate.
Irony of Fate. That's right. It exists. It does exist. That's right.
Yeah.
I wasn't making it up. So.
The most popular one. Yeah. Because it's funny and it's kind and it's touching, and so probably you should watch this if you.
Right. Irony of Fate is the go-to film if you're trying to get a taste of Russian culture. So
we have it every New Year.
Yeah.
Every year, for like, I don't know, for 30 years already or something. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're comparing it to like the US, I feel like the US version of Irony of Fate for many people was
Home Alone.
Home Alone, or an older one, a more classic one is like A Christmas Story. But every country seems to have their go-to holiday films that are kind of classics that people religiously watch on a holiday. So, but So anyway, just finishing up then, what is the best way for people to follow you and keep track of all the things you're doing and films, TV shows, etc.?
Instagram.
Instagram. Okay.
Instagram. Yeah.
And your tag is at what? Sonya Priss?
Sonya Priss. Yes. Everybody asks me why Sonya if you're Sophia, but in Russian it's slightly different because Sophia, when you write it down, it's a long word, like a really long one, and then
Okay.
Sonya, it's a short one. So Sonya is the short for Sophia, but in English it has the same amount of letters, I believe.
Yeah.
But it's like this. Yeah. So Sonya, it's like for mm, it's like Michael and Mike, or
Right.
like it's like
It's like a nickname for
the short for
your name.
yeah. So when I was choosing the name for my Instagram and for my movie roles, I was like, well, I don't associate myself with Sophia because it's like something really grown up and
Right.
something,
Like a very,
it's like for a woman. And I was like,
right.
no, I'll go with Sonya. Yeah,
That's funny.
for
Yeah.
now.
Yep. I
now.
think that stuff is kind of that occurs in every culture where people were like, okay, this is a more too formal of a name. I'm gonna go by
Yeah.
this. Like my official name is Benjamin, but I go by Ben. Is it just
Yeah.
seems more appropriate for this point in my life. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. And really cool background story with how you got into acting, and I think it's something that a lot of people can find pretty inspirational for just following your dreams and doing whatever you can to achieve it. And look forward to all the new things that you're going to be involved with. We'll keep out a look for on Netflix and see what's going to come up next. So thanks again.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me.